What if the bond you share with your pet doesn't end when they leave this world? In this heartfelt episode, I sit down with psychic and pet medium Becky Jones, also known as the Dog Mom Medium, to explore how she discovered her extraordinary gift during one of the most challenging times in her life. Becky shares how she communicates with beloved pets in spirit, what our animals want us to know after they pass, and why she believes every one of us has intuitive abilities just waiting to be awakened. If you've ever wondered whether love truly transcends death, or whether you might be more intuitive than you realize, this conversation is for you. Welcome to Dial Up Intuition, a podcast that invites you to awaken and expand your intuition. I'm your host, Kat Sanders. I was a radio and television broadcaster before a massive brain hemorrhage caused me to flatline. That life-changing event led to a beautiful near-death experience, and when I came back, I returned with some profound truths and the ability to connect with the other side. In this podcast, we'll explore these truths and learn how to strengthen your intuition and intuitive gifts. You'll hear conversations with remarkable intuitives who'll share how their gifts came alive, evolved, and became part of their daily lives. So whether you're just beginning your intuitive journey or you're ready to go deeper, this is your space to be inspired, guided, and reminded that your intuitive gift was always within you. So let's begin and dial up our intuition together. All right, today's guest is Becky Jones, better known as the Dog Mom Medium. Becky is a psychic and pet medium, intuitive coach, and educator who specializes in helping people connect with loved ones and beloved pets in spirit, while also providing intuitive guidance for life's biggest questions. After discovering her gifts during one of the most difficult chapters of her own life, Becky has spent the past several years helping thousands of people find healing, hope, and clarity through ethical, compassionate mediumship. Her work is grounded in the belief that spiritual guidance should empower people, not create fear or dependency, and that our loved ones, both human and animal, continue to love and support us long after they leave the physical world. Through her readings and educational content, Becky is passionate about making spirituality feel approachable, helping people trust their own intuition, and reminding them that healing is always possible. Welcome to the show, Becky. You sound just like the right kind of person for me.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Really excited to have you here. So if you're comfortable, I know it was a difficult time in your life, but if you're comfortable talking about it, can you tell me about how you first discovered these gifts of yours?
Oh, absolutely. And I feel as a medium, I'm sure you get this as well. Everyone always asks this question. So I am more than happy to share my own journey or my own story. And I feel like typically you hear people talk about how they discover their gifts, and it always starts in childhood and seeing spirits or hearing your grandma who passed. But for me, my journey was like very different. Looking back on my childhood, I can see where I was way more in touch with spirit and my own intuition, but I didn't really have anyone in my family or around me to help me understand it. And so I actually discovered my gifts in my late 20s when I went through a pretty traumatic breakup with a narcissist that kind of forced me onto this eat, pray, love, healing spiritual journey. And I remember meeting with a psychic medium life coach, and several of them told me that I had my gifts and I would use them one day. And I'm like, yeah, like kind of brushed it off. But as I kind of went on my own healing journey alongside my soul dog, Ollie, I started to read tarot cards and do readings for some of my friends. And the things that were coming through these readings and through the tarot were actually very accurate. They were very valid. And so my friends started sending people to me. And as I began to do more and more, past loved ones, human of the human variety, started coming through. And I opened my business, Dog Mom Medium, because I really wanted to incorporate Ollie into my own business because he was such an important part of my life, or he is such an important part of me and my gifts and opening them up. And what's funny is people started confusing the dog mom with me being a pet medium. And so I actually got more and more people coming to me wanting to connect with past pets. I kind of follow that. And now I am a full psychic and pet medium. And I not only connect to people's past loved ones, give them guidance about love, life, and career, I also talk to past pets or pets in spirit.
That's wonderful. So do you actually see what the dog or cat looks like? Do you sense their spirit? How do they communicate with you when you're talking to this animal or pet?
Well, with pets, I don't necessarily see a dog or see a cat or even see what breed of dog or cat comes through, but I actually feel more so an energy more so than I see a spirit. So I might have a personality, like feel like a personality or a spirit come and sit next to me, and I might see dog ears or a dog tail. So that will validate whether it's a dog. I have seen horses come through. I might see the outline of an image of a horse, right? But I don't necessarily see it. They will communicate in all sorts of ways, and honestly, ways that people do not expect. They will show me fur colors. I will see fur textures. Sometimes those lucky readings where I will get a breed or I will get a name, but most of the time it comes through more so like subtle impressions rather than, hi, my name is Lucky. I was a Chihuahua. Died on December 5th. It doesn't really come through like that, but they sort of communicate with me just like humans do. They just mess with all sorts of clairs. So I might see an image in my imagination. I might smell something. I might feel something in my body if they're showing me how they passed. So those are just some of the ways that these pets will show up to kind of validate who they are from the other side.
Yeah, that makes complete sense because, of course, we are made of energy, and when we pass, we keep our energy, and our soul is energy. And animals are so based in heart-centered communication that they're not. I mean, you don't speak algebra to an aardvark, right? You have to communicate with them through your heart, and that's how they communicate back. So they're going to be communicating with feeling and emotion. And I'm sure, like you said, that's what they're communicating with. So a wag of a tail is going to be, they're communicating to you about, they're happy and they're loving, and that makes complete sense. So you're able to bring a comfort, I'm sure, to so many people by being able to say, hey, they're still around you. I'm guessing, you're saying I'm seeing a tail wag and a color that is showing me an emotion. That's got to bring tremendous comfort. I know for me, I lost my dog, that was basically a service animal to me for my panic attacks after my brain hemorrhage. And I lost her to cancer, and it was just heartbreaking to me. And so, fortunately, I'm a medium, and I could see her. I actually saw my mom take her in, on the other side. But for so many people, just that desperation of not knowing what happened to them. What a beautiful gift. So, can you maybe share a story? I don't know if you have maybe a story of someone coming to you wanting to talk to their animal, maybe, and what you were able to help them with. I know I'm putting you on the spot
Well,
here.
absolutely. No, no, absolutely. I mean, I just did two readings this morning, but I will use an example because it's just coming to my mind. And I had a dog come through, and she showed me like sitting next to me, and I asked if he had a female dog. Um, who passed, and he confirmed that he did. And the first thing she's like making me feel is like my stomach. My stomach is like about to explode. Like I was so uncomfortable in my tummy, and he confirmed that that's actually how she passed, was like tumors and things erupting in the stomach. And the first thing she says is, it's not your fault. There's nothing you could have done, because I think with pet passings, they're way different than our humans leaving, because we don't have to make those choices to put them down. We don't know that how bad they're hurting or if that they're sick. And they can't really voice it to us quite like a human can if they're not feeling well. And so a lot of people carry tremendous guilt when pets pass because of this. They're like, I should have known, I should have sensed it, I should have got help. What if I got them to the vet sooner? And of course, this pet verified, nope, it was my time to go. I was all good. They confirmed that they felt no pain. So I really hope that that person, I do believe from what I could feel and sense, that it gave this owner tremendous peace to know that there was nothing that could have been done to change the outcome of what had happened. And it's so funny because to them, their deaths are just little blips. They don't even want to talk about them half the time. When I do a reading, they will talk about their brothers and sisters. They will talk about their family dynamics, their favorite food, their favorite toy, their favorite memory. If they like to chase squirrels or if they like water. And that's really how they want to be remembered. And so it was kind of funny that this dog immediately talked about how she passed, because I feel like my client really needed to hear that and hear that first. And then we could dive into like the good stuff and the funny memories and the things that, were further validating who she was and that she wasn't gone.
Yeah. That's a really good point. So many people do feel like they're so responsible. And when you take them in, see, people, have the doctors, and we can talk and we can say, I want to make this decision. And for our pets, we are making that decision. We are the voice for them. And should we have waited a day or two, or did we maybe make that decision too quickly? Should we have gone sooner? Should we have waited longer? It's all on us. And I know I've had this problem too. It's a really difficult thing to live with. So that's a wonderful thing that
Yeah.
you're able to kind of share that, we all kind of have our own time. Well, so do our pets. They have a time.
Yeah. And it's crazy how no matter what decision you make, and I've talked to so many people who have lost so many different pets in different ways. And for the ones that put them down or they died naturally old, I'm not talking specifically about traumatic losses and accidents and things like that. But I was always thought, your dog dying naturally, that's the best way to go. You don't have to make the decision. But I actually found that people that had their dog die naturally, they feel guilt. They're like, well, did I miss something? Should I got him to the vet? Could have I extended their time? Were they in pain? Were they suffering? And so here I was thinking like, oh, this is the best. Like they went on their own terms. They were old. They just fell asleep. But the owners still carry the same guilt. So what is really amazing and what I love about doing pet readings and readings in general is I'm always learning something. I'm always learning something about how people grieve or about what happens when we leave the physical world, whether we're a human or a pet. And I love that because then I can share with people who are going through this, who are beating themselves up with guilt, whether your dog died naturally or you had to make the difficult choice to put it down. And I will remind them, I'm like, no choice is easy. Like it is all difficult. It's just, we're still going to feel guilt one way or the other. It just might be a little bit different whether we had to put them down or they died naturally.
Right. That's right. So let me talk about your gift for a minute, because it's beautiful, and I think Of course, I'm such a animal lover myself. Um, it's just such a beautiful thing. And I know that, part of my whole podcast is, I think everybody should be able to be, more intuitive. And it's something that I promote. Do you think that everybody can be intuitive, or do you think it's limited to just a select few people? Do you think people can get their own gifts?
So I think everyone has their own gifts. I think everyone is intuitive. It's just whether or not they realize it or if they tap into it or not. I feel like intuition is a muscle that you need to learn to work. And some of us like going to the gym and some of us don't. And that's okay. Some people might be drawn more to tap into their intuition and others that's okay as well. But I feel like everybody has intuitive abilities. I just feel like they're all different in how we use them. And also, yes, you can build that intuitive muscle by working it.
So how do you have a special way that you maybe connect in to bring up your vibrations and have more of a connection to be able to talk to someone on the other side, an animal on the other side? Is there some routine that you do, or some way? Do you have to meditate a lot? Some way that you are boosting that ability or practicing to become better at what you do?
I feel like it all starts with nervous system regulation. I had to learn that the hard way in this business is it's much easier to connect to your intuition, to spirit, to past loved ones when your nervous system is regulated. And so nervous system regulation looks different for everybody. Sometimes I will do a nervous system meditation before I do a reading, or sometimes I dance. Sometimes I walk. Sometimes I, sit in silence because I need to sit in silence. Other times I'm like blasting music. So it really depends for me. I'm like, feel into what I need to regulate my nervous system for that day. But I feel like whatever that looks like for you, of getting out of your head and into your heart. And for some people, sitting crisscross applesauce and trying to like meditate is not for them. And a lot of times it's not for me. So and that could be doing puzzles. That could be crocheting. For me, I get all these downloads when I'm working out. I go to my notes app on my phone. I'm like, oh my God, I have somebody here who's blah, blah, blah. And I get all my intuitive downloads while I'm working out because that's how I connect my intuition the best. So it's really about experimenting and finding out what makes you feel more connected for you.
So you just have to get out of your head, because in your head is where the world lives. And
Yes.
the world is noisy and distracting. And right now it's also pretty chaotic and crazy. And yeah, you got to get out of there, because that's not where everything else lives. Everything else lives in the heart.
Yeah.
And yeah, so to get into your heart knows how to get to your heart. So for me, I've got to get rid of the noise. So I like to go into nature. I like to go to quiet, because I've got to get out of the noise. And I'm very auditory, so that makes sense for me. I've got to get to quiet. So for you, you may not be auditory. You just have to get out of your head some other way. So maybe blasting some music is going to get you into your heart. So to each their own, but you just got to get out of the world, out of your mind and into your heart. Am I getting that right?
Absolutely. And I think I mentor some people who do this work, and I always tell them connecting to intuition or spirit and your readings, don't have to read like me, and you shouldn't. Read how you read, because I found that people were trying to, oh, I read that this person does that or this person does this or that. Do what feels good to you and your body. Whatever helps you get out of here and into the body, that's your sweet spot. That's how you tap in. That's how you connect. Don't try to be anybody else when it comes to doing this work
Yeah.
because it will never work.
Good. Now I'm going to ask you a totally unrelated question just because I love how you are smart and get this. And so I love to take advantage of my guests by picking their brain on a whole variety of subjects. But, you know, the world right now is nuts, right? The whole world is kind of nuts right now. Just everybody's crazy. There's a lot of negativity, a lot of changing. And I see this as a pattern of things to come. I see this as the awakening coming. I see every time in our history that the world has had a lot of disruption and chaos and uncertainty, good things have always happened out of it. And I hate to compare this to the Black Plague, but we had a Black Plague, and then from that became, you know, some wonderful things in the world, some wonderful transition. You had the Roman Empire, and the fall of the Roman Empire came some great things afterwards. And again, you know, I'm comparing this to some awful things, but again, every time this world has seen, you know, chaos, you know, you have the flood and Noah and his ark, and then the rainbow comes, and you've got wonderful transition. Okay, so we're not going to hopefully have a flood or a plague, but we are seeing disruption. We are seeing people feeling like this is crazy, negative. This is a lot of craziness. And a lot of spiritual people are saying that's because it's the awakening and our actual DNA is changing, and we're all going to be part of this awakening. So, how do you feel about that as an intuitive person? Are you seeing that what we're going through right now is very unsettling? Because this isn't a, you know, a war or you know, a transition in that physical sense. This is a spiritual war, and that's why the disruption isn't a plague or, you know, a war. This disruption is very much internal, emotional, spiritual. But what is your sense of what's going on and what we have coming as far as a transition?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of like that person who like kind of stays in her own lane a little bit with that kind of like the broader political, religious, spiritual like perspective. That's just not kind of what I worry about because I always feel like there's always chaos, there's always something, there's always stuff happening in the world. And yes, I feel like we need to do our parts, but I think there's learning to balance what you can do on your end versus what not focusing on what we can't control. So what I do is I try to focus on what I can control. Myself, my energy, helping others, helping where I can. But I also do believe that every generation we do try to get better and better. I feel like we come here uh to heal, to learn, to evolve as souls. And I do believe that there are souls here that are new souls that have a lot of work to do um with each lifetime, and other people who are more evolved. And I think what's happening, at least from my perspective, is that more and more people are learning into tune into their intuition. They are realizing that we are energy, and they're opening their minds to this stuff, which I think is really cool because I feel like we can't control what other people do, but we can control our own energy. And when you do the healing work on yourself, when you do the work to better yourself, when you pour all your loving energy into yourself, then you can give that out to other people and help other people heal and then cause the ripple effect.
Yes, I agree. And I really think that's why we're here, we intuitive people, to help others become more intuitive. And that's what's going to basically kind of cure a lot of the negativity and those, you know, things that are happening around the world that aren't so good. the chaos, all of that, because as we become more intuitive, we can see through the people that are trying to fool us. We can send more love out into the world. And I think that's exactly what we need. I think people like you and I are here to love more, send out more positive energy. And that's what's going to make the world more balanced and hopefully much better in the future. So when what we do becomes more commonplace and certainly more accepted than it was in the past. So I think, we just need to do more of what we do.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm all about like I love this work and I love sharing it, but I'm also on the other end of the spectrum. I don't want to push my ideas or beliefs onto anybody else because that's the kind of what has rubbed me wrong about certain belief systems or certain religions. Not everyone, of course, but like I will never try to make a believer out of anybody because I've had people come in my readings and be like, I don't really believe in this stuff. I'm like, okay, great. Not here to make a believer out of you, but we'll see what comes through. And you can take it how take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't, you think this is poppycock or whatever. I'm like, that's fine too. Like, I'm not here to do that, but I really hope that you could open your heart and your mind and you don't have to believe what I believe. Um, and I'm very passionate about trust and believe what's true in your heart. Because not I don't know everything. I've talked to hundreds of past loved ones, past pets, and I've gotten a pretty good idea of what I believe happens when we cross over. But I always tell people you don't know until you die. So believe what's true in your heart. I had a client tell me this, and my husband, he doesn't believe that animal souls could have been people's souls. He's like, nope, nope, you're an animal soul, you're an animal soul forever, and you're a people soul. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, I don't believe that. Like, I believe animals have been people in past lives, but I also am like, you know what? I don't know. So yeah, we'll find out when we die, I guess. I mean, I could be wrong, but in my heart, I do believe that animals could have been people in past lives. Not always, but could have. But there are people that are absolutely adamant about, nope, nope, you're an animal, you're a person soul. And I'm like, okay, nothing wrong. Like, who cares? Like, if that makes you feel good inside, perfect. And I'm not telling you you're wrong because again, I don't have concrete evidence that you are wrong, but this is kind of what has been shown to me as a pet medium and a psychic medium.
Yeah. Well, we're all made of energy, and I have flatlined and I've seen the other side, but I don't have all the answers. You know, I was there for a little while and I got shown, some truths. And I come back here and I'm certainly not going to tell everybody that I can give you every answer. And I'm not going to tell everybody that you have to listen to me because I know everything and this is the way you need to live, because we are all individual, beautiful souls living out, our temporary little lives here. This one little life, we've got others, is my belief on what I learned. But this is each individual person's life to live. It's our experience in this life, and so we can experience it whatever way we want with whatever beliefs we want. And it's not my place, just as you said, to tell you how to do that. So that's your call. You've got your own
Yeah.
choices to make, and that's called free will. We all have it. It's our life. We have free will. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. And yeah, so yeah, I agree. Nobody should tell you how to live or how to believe. The one thing I always say is don't fear death, because I was there and it was beautiful. But if you want to fear
Yeah.
death, okay. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I always think about how does a belief make you feel, right? Like, I have people like, oh no, they're just so in so much pain when they die and they're suffering and they hate you and they're mad at you. And I'm like, who would, and I mean, you've talked to people. I have
Yeah,
never, ever, ever had a soul come through and be like, yep, you made a mistake. I'm mad at like I've never seen that. And so if you are saying I had somebody say, "Oh, I just believe our pets go into the soil and they're done." and they're gone and that's it. And there's no soul. And I'm like, well, how does that make that, I'm not going to argue with somebody because again, if that's how they feel and that's what they believe, who am I to tell them they're wrong? But also, man, that must feel awful. It just actually makes me feel bad for that person. Like
Yeah,
that's got to be tough.
it
So I
does.
would say, think about how the belief makes you feel. If it makes you feel yucky, maybe question it, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe that doesn't have to be the truth. And I always say this too. I'm like, you know what? I could die, get up there and be like, oh man, you were wrong about everything. But the point is, did it help you? Did it make me feel better? Did it help me be a better person in this life? Did it help me grow? Did it help me evolve? Well, then to me, who gives a crap if it's wrong or not?
That's right.
And that's kind of how I look at it anyway.
Yeah. And I had my near death experience and I saw animals, pets, animals of all kinds on that other side. And I, like you, see pets that are on the other side that come through when I'm doing a reading. And I've seen my pet on the other side come through. Oh, that's a beautiful
And
dog.
she thank you, and she's like, oh, I'm here to tell you that we do come through. And I've had enough experience. I've done hundreds of readings with pets and humans, and there's just no way I could have known, guessed. Even I brought through things that people haven't told anyone in their life.
Mhm.
So I have enough proof in my arsenal over here that there's no way that this can't be at least mostly true or even 100% true. And I do believe when before I started this work, I was pretty skeptical. I was scared to death of dying. But now I'm like, like I hear it's pretty cool over there. And I like to joke, like, oh, you don't have to pay bills and I don't have to worry about my weight anymore. I don't have to work out. Like, no, totally kidding. But it's like I do that because it makes me feel better about dying. Now I would not share that to somebody who's dying because that would be very insensitive, right? But it's just what I do to feel better. And it's helped me in my own life because inevitably we're all going to die. Like it's going to happen.
Every
So I
percent of
rather,
us.
yep, exactly. And so I rather feel good believing that it's this beautiful place filled with love. Our past loved ones, our past pets are there to greet us. And I really like imagine that I don't have to work anymore. No, I'm just kidding. You just relax. You can chill up there.
Well, from my experience, it is absolutely phenomenal because you are connected to everything, the trees, the animals, the people you've lost, and the people who are still alive in such a way that I did not want to come back. I was told I had more to do by my late father, and I accepted that, and I'm back. But it sounds terrible to say, I am looking forward to it. I'm not anxious. I want every day I get in this
Yeah.
world experiencing, but the day that I go will be a glorious day because I'm very, very sure after my experience that I am going to be connected to absolutely everything. It's a complete connection of all energy, and it's just phenomenal. So I have absolutely no fear, and I don't fear the pain. Yes, there might be some suffering if I have a disease, whatever, but if it gets too much, the pain is taken away. I had basically 5 aneurysms at once, the equivalent of it. I had a massive brain hemorrhage, and when it got to be too much pain, the pain was taken away. You go into a coma. That's what happens. But yeah, I'm not worried about it in the least. So for anybody that's worried about death, I'm excited, not anxious,
Yeah.
because I want all the time here because it's a love fest up there. And I want to bring some of that love back here. It's hard sometimes. I've had to make little tricks because I have this whole thing about people cutting me off on the road. I have this whole road rage thing, and I've worked out systems now where when they cut me off, I imagine them as a cartoon character so that I don't get so mad. I honk my horn or give them a nice little symbol with my hand, because I just get so mad. It's like, you could kill me when you do these things. Why are you doing these things? But I've worked out a way so that I can be more loving here, because it's crazy down here once you've been in perfection. But
Yeah.
it is beautiful. And yes, there are animals, definitely. Do those souls from the animals turn into souls of people? I don't have the answer to that. But I know our animals are there for us, like you know. So for
Yes.
those listening, you can believe us or not, but I'm sure of it. And you're
Oh
sure
yeah.
of it. So,
Oh yes. Trust me, I've brought through some pretty incredible pups, horses, a fish, hamster. Like there's not just our dogs or our cats. Like there are all of our animals up there. And they are surrounded by love. And that's, the hardest part for bringing through animals is like they're so happy.
they
Like
are such love beings. They really
yes.
are.
And you're looking at their owners who are left here in the physical world, of course, so sad and profound with profound grief. But these animals are like, I'm all good. And you're looking at somebody who is tormented by their loss. So it's like this dichotomy of like, it's like you this is heavy on you, but it's not on them. Even the ones that I've seen go really traumatically, they're like, it's all good. I'm up here with my friends and my your your grandma and
Yes,
everything is fine.
everything is fine. Death is not a punishment. It is a beautiful existence. And yeah, so they're good. And they can still kind of connect in with you. You just maybe not realize that they're there, but they're still connecting in. So anyway, I think we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're out of time here, but you have been wonderful. And I'm so glad you were able to come and join us today and bless our listeners with such great information. And I sure appreciate it. So if they want to get in touch with you to talk to their loved ones, beloved pets and such on the other side, how would they connect?
Absolutely. So they can follow me at Dog Mom Medium or book a reading at my website, dogmommedium.com.
Dog Mom Medium. That's an easy one to remember. So I appreciate so much that you came on and joined us today. Thank you so much. And thanks for listening to Dial Up Intuition today.
Thank you.